Okay, we got senior offensive lineman Jake Eichorn. Jake played all 61 offensive snaps Saturday, had a team-high 5 knockdowns.
Jake, Eric Cranston with 169 The Fan, and I'll ask you the same question I asked Gabe. Just first game in the MAV with wearing an Aggie jersey. Just after all you've been through in the spring and the fall, getting a chance to suit up and play with these guys and finally square off against somebody else, how'd that feel for you?
The funny thing about college football is 9 months out of the year you're training, right? So to finally suit up with the guys that been putting in a ton of work with was really, really fun. Like Gabe said, the unity of our team is second to none, and it's because we go through hard things together. So it was great. It was great.
Hi, Jake. Jason Turner from the Herald-Journal. Kind of a two-part question that's far off on the first question and the second question. I'm just curious. Garrett Thaler was a coworker of mine. Did you take a class from him at Beaver?
I did. I was also the high school newspaper editor for him, so we're pretty close.
That's awesome. I like Garrett. Good friend. Just wanted to ask you, gosh, you just had super thought there. Just wanted to ask you how big of a deal it was to score on your first possession of the year. You put together a good drive, and then Rinker came down and kicked a 49-yard field goal. How much confidence did that give you as an offense to start the season?
I mean, when your kicker's coming out and scoring from that type of range, it gives you a lot of versatility as an offense. But honestly, I felt like we're gelled pretty well for being the first time we've all played as a unit together. You know what I'm saying? There's things to fix, but I'm very confident in our group and confident in our unity. So it's going to keep gelling and keep growing from there.
Jason Walker with Cash Philly Daily. I mentioned things to work on. I think the pass protection may be one of those where you get with the 6 sacks. Mm-hmm. I asked Bronco about just the difference between some plays, maybe man just beats, but other plays was just kind of understanding the blocking scheme. Just kind of what was your assessment looking back on that, where some of the things went wrong with a few of those sacks and pressures?
On mine, I mean, it was completely my fault. You know, you have to sustain blocks. Quarterback steps up in the pocket. It's a blind spot for me, but you know, it's my sack, so obviously I can take accountability on that. I think that there was a couple schematic things where we turned protections a different way, had field pressure or boundary pressure. But other than that, I think we were okay. We were solid. The biggest thing is getting the run game going, set up the run game, set up the pass game, fix the little things in our sets, things like that are typical of game one.
AJ Styles, Niagara Sports Radio Network. I want to ask you two questions. One, Miles Davis on his first game at Niagara, he had 88 yards, 58 came off a long run, but his ability to be able to just see gaps and burst through gaps. And then secondly, Bryson Barnes and his leadership that's been talked about pretty often here throughout the offseason about how good a leader is. What is it like with him in the huddle, and how has he done for you?
So you want me to answer Miles first?
Yeah, sorry.
So Miles I've been playing with for 3 years now. We played 2 years at BYU together, and this is our third year together. Fantastic guy. Heart of gold, workhorse, right? So when I watch his success, it doesn't surprise me whatsoever. He is he encompasses what this program is in terms of work ethic, in terms of he's going to run through your face if you're going to tackle him, and he's a home run hitter if he wants to be. So it's awesome. Bryson Barnes. Bryson I've known since I was probably 8 years old. We grew up in Beaver County together. He brings a stability to our offense that will carry us through this entire season. The thing that I love about Bryson is he's gritty, and he's willing to do anything to gain yards. Fights for every blade of grass, just like our program calls for. So, yeah, it's awesome.
I kind of want to ask about the run game. How much more do you feel like you can build on that? Because obviously we saw some pretty good glimpses with Miles and with a lot of the yards gained in the first half. Just how good of a run team can this be? I feel like it can be an elite run team with Bryson, Miles, and Jake as well. I
think we could be a fantastic run team. I think we run block well, which is the start of it all. But our backs, our quarterback, we're deep at running back. So really, it's as far as we want to take it, and I have a feeling we can do a lot with it.
I'll actually pick back off one of Eric's questions where he talked about playing in Maverick for the first time, but just with not being able to put our product in front of the fans for once, how good was it that you were able to go out there and play good in front of the fans, go out there and get a nice win?
It was awesome. This isn't my first time playing in Maverick Stadium. I played here in 22. One of the first games I played in at Weber State. And I just know how rough it is for the opposing teams. The herd does a really good job of, chirping, staying loud, and it's an advantage for us. It was really fun to get the win. The fans were great in terms of, we're learning the team song and the Scotsman. It's a great atmosphere to play here at the Mav.
I want to ask you about Kyle Field. It's one of the loudest stadiums in the country, obviously about 100,000 or so. You got a grin on your face as I say that, but can you just talk about the importance of communication and how you guys are able to do that? I don't really want to go into too much detail, but just how important it is to communicate in such a loud place, and it can be hard to hear.
Yeah, obviously communicating in a loud stadium can be difficult at times, but if you have 5 guys out there that know scheme well, know the defense well, and are studied up on film, the communication doesn't have to be the main focal point, right? Like, if we're all on the same page, we can all be on the same page without having to scream through the crowd all the time, right? So it's going to be really a determination factor of how we prepare. And I think that our staff promotes being one of the most well-prepared teams in the country. So we'll do that.
Texas A&M has a veteran defense, 8 starters back, I believe. UTSA did have some success last week, especially on the ground. What about, I'm sure you've probably seen film of that, what about that game from their defense flashed to you?
I think their edges are very talented. Strong, physical in the run game, and they know how to get to the passer. So it's going to be a good challenge for me and Anderson this week. Just going to study hard, work on the little things that need to fix from last week, and stay in our process. I think that's the biggest thing about games like this is you just stay in your process and you go let it rip.